Hi Flosstube, welcome back to Patchy Pony Stitcher. My name's Mel and today is Friday the 4th of March and market is happening as we speak. I cannot wait to see all the wonderful new charts. I've got a few things already on my wish list. Definitely that Teresa Kogut sampler and a Plum Street, the pink brick one is definitely on my must buy, but I'm sure that list will get a bit bigger over the weekend. It's been a month and I'm back and I've got I have 5 fully finished objects to show you. So I have been busy and I've got lots of stitching to show you, and I've got some stash acquisitions, so lots to get through today. So it's probably just going to be one long video. I thought I'd get into a vlog style, but I just haven't filmed any clips between my last video and today. So I'm going to start with my fully finished objects. Now the first one I'm going to show you is a finished object from last video, which was the Koala Biscornu, and I finished him into the Biscornu. So my very first one, I hadn't done one before, so this is this guy, and I've just popped polyfill in there. I probably would like something a bit heavier next time, but it wasn't as easy as I thought. I really thought this would be tricky. You've got to be patient with the hand stitching. My only tip, because this chart didn't have, was to stitch the square around the chart, around the design, before you can start the Biscornu. And counting, not my forte. So I think next time I do a Biscornu, if the outline's not already on there, that will be my first thing I do before I start stitching, because my square around the koalas is not, see, that one's got a lot more than this one. So not that you can tell at the end of the day. So that's my Koala Biscornu, that's the bottom, and I've popped some buttons, matching buttons in there, and it was fun and I really enjoyed it. And it's, yeah, a nice little sweet design. This one is from Wild Violet Cross Stitch from a Mittagong retreat back in 2019. So more Biscornus are on my to-do list. Now, the next project I'm going to show you is the Winter Cross Stitch Camp project. So if you follow me on Instagram, patchy_pony_stitcher, you would have already seen me upload a little reel of this, which I'm just so happy with how this turned out. So I did a chart by Jan Hicks called This Is Home, and this is my finished product. Now I'm so happy with how the stitching and the variegation of that Karen Water Lilies came out. So how I finished this was just on a MDF board. This was fully naked when I bought it, so I put some chalk paint on both sides. So I've actually got another blank canvas that I can use for another project if I use the Karen Water Lilies or something similar with the colour. And then I have mounted that on a bit of cardboard, and I also used a bit of scrapbooking paper because I didn't want it to be too, well, you can see even now, I didn't want it to be too thick off the easel. So the scrapbooking paper worked a treat, and I've got heaps of that from my scrapbooking days. And I also put a row of beads all the way around on the outside just to give it a little bit of interest. I saw somebody else, Carol Fun on Instagram, sorry Carol, but I thought, oh, I really liked how her finish came out, so I decided to try that and use her technique, and I was really happy. And I got to use up some Mill Hill beads that were just sort of sitting there from leftovers, which was a good way to use up stash. So super happy with how this guy turned out, and he sits quite nicely just on any shelf there, and I will be looking forward to putting another project on the back, if something seasonal maybe. The next one I also showed you was finished in my last Flosstube. So this is Flosstube 46, by the way. I always forget to say that. So Flosstube 46. So I showed you the finished pillow form. So I'd already stitched the actual pillow, so all I've done is stuffed it, and I've put some additional lace right around the bottom. I use the open back slit, so I've just got some adhesive felt that I use to patch it. I'm going to pop up a little pin with the 2020, probably a 20, I think this was a 2021 finish. So I've used a mixture here of polyfill and also rice. I cannot for the life of me get hold of any walnut shells without paying an absolute fortune because they're a craft item. So I'm heading to the mainland, so because I'm in Tasmania in Australia, if you're not familiar or knew where I was filming from. I'm in Tasmania, which is an island state, so we don't always get everything that we need down here, so sometimes we have to get it in from the mainland, which is what we affectionately call the rest of Australia for those that don't live in Australia. So heading to the mainland in a couple of weeks to take the family on a little bit of a holiday where we've got our theme parks and just some fun in the sun. So I will hopefully be able to go to a pet shop there and get some crushed walnut shells that won't be as expensive as crafting walnut shells because the price is astronomically different. So I have filled this just with rice. So it's got quite a bit of weight to it, but it's also got polyfill, so when it can actually sit up nicely in a bowl or on the shelf. So this is my autumn. This is by Lila's Studio, and it's her seasonal, I think it's just called Seasons. So autumn. Now the next two that I'm going to show you, again, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen these yesterday or maybe the day before. I am so happy with how these turned out. If you have not tried a drum finish, do yourself a favor, watch Vonna Pfeiffer's tutorial because it's not that hard. It really isn't. And I'm not the best of finishers or hand stitches by any stretch of the imagination. So if I can do it, now these are my third and my fourth drum, so I have already done two. So I didn't have to watch the tutorial again because I sort of have it in my mind of how to do it. So I'm going to show you the small guy first of all. So this is a Prairie Schooler and it's called Santa Rides, and it's got quite a few different Santas riding. There's a hot air balloon, there's a reindeer, all sorts of different things that Santa could ride. And I did this particular one for the summer cross stitch camp that Colorado Cross Stitcher hosted, but I thought it was too big for an ornament, so I added in another one to make a drum, which is Santa on the Train. And I've added my initials in, so they had, I can't remember what they had there on the chart now, but I just changed that and to 2021 and I turned it into a drum. Now I did also stitch these 4 trees that were in the back of a what we call a ute. I guess in America it's called a pickup truck maybe. So these were in the back of a ute, so I stitched those just so I'd have something coordinating. I feel like I need to put a little bow or something because I didn't want to center it because it was too small. It wasn't as big as I was hoping, so I'm hoping to find some little pin or something that I can pop in there to center that up. So after and that was my bit of printed, it's not printed, it's got like a glitter stamp on it on some felt. Again, we've got quite a bit of weight in there and lots of polyfill. So when it was finished, I actually decided to put some of these lace trims on. I just felt it needed some more, something more without being too colourful. So I just glued this on very gently with some craft glue, and it has stuck down like a treat. And I am so happy with how this guy turned out. So that's my Santa Rides drum. Now the other drum is the chart is by Artful Offerings, and it's called Rocking Horse Holiday. Now this guy's big. So as you can see the difference, so it's bigger than, like taller than my face. So I sort of knew from day dot that this is what I wanted to do with it. And my piece of fabric, it wasn't as long as it needed to be for the chart. So rather than making the chart go up and down, I made the chart lengthways. And I've added, so I've got the 2 Christmas trees, the rocking horse, my alphabet with my initials. So I swapped the M and the L around and change the colour. And unfortunately, I did the same with the 1 and the 2, but the lace did cover that because that was a sacrifice I had to make to again put the lace around the lace ribbon around the side. And I just added in some jingle bells, not that they'll move as such, but Christmas it's just a Christmassy noise, isn't it? Now the fabric I chose for this was, I needed something a bit prim because these colours that I'd used were a little bit sort of muted and faded. So I found an old shirt of my husband's that was in the rag bag, and it's quite faded and it's Christmas colours. So I popped that on for my finishing top, and again I just glued on the lace around the top and the bottom. And I love how the lace, like I actually just curled that over and it came out beautifully. Sorry about that, I got a phone call right as I was finishing up there. So haven't I been a busy bee with all that finishing? But I do have one more finished object which is semi cross stitch related. So I'll pop in a photo here. So this is, because I don't really have anywhere to display a lot of the smalls and so forth that I've got. So I bought this dresser with in mind that I wanted to actually do some work to it. So this is the dresser when I bought it, and then I cleaned it up and then I painted it, and this is what it looks like now, and I'm so happy with the finish of this particular project. So technically it was a work in progress, and it is to help display my cross-stitching finish. So I'm going to include that as an FFO for this video. I have so many things I haven't shown you. Like I only saw a tip of the iceberg in my last video of what I've been stitching in the last 6 months. So I'm just going to randomly pick ones that I've done a lot of work on. The first one I'm going to show you is my Prairie Romance. So this is what it looked like last time you saw it. And I've done quite a bit of work on it and totally finished the last, like the full top rows of the pages, and I've made a good progress on the next lot. So, and this is where I'm up to now. I'll have to pop a little video in because it is on my floor stand. So I'll turn you around and show you Prairie Romance. So here we are with Prairie Romance. In the before photo, I'd only got to here. And yes, you can see some of the lines behind, with the light behind the fabric. So you may have heard Flosstubers referring to with full coverage about lines, but once you put something solid behind it, oh yeah, your backing and your frame, you're not going to see that. It's only because it's on a floor stand as such and the light's coming in behind it. So I've done, there were another 3 rows that I finished there, and then I've done, I'm on to my fourth row there of the next bit. So I'm about to hit the horse's muzzle, and it will get interesting again, because let me tell you, this sort of stuff is confetti heavy and boring because nothing becomes out of it other than background. But this is one that I put 1 stitch a day into. So I'm really happy with how that has progressed. So that is the whip one that I was showing you for this video, and the next one is you did see it last time, so this is where Snowy Christmas was up to when you last saw it. Whoops, I'm wobbling the camera like no man's business there. Sorry about that. So that's where Snowy Christmas was last time you saw it, and I have been popping in a whole heap of work into this one. This is by Aury TM, and this is where we're up to now, so close to a finish. I'm hoping that next video I've got one more motif to do there, and that will have the year in it, and then I might sprinkle some more of the little snowflakes around just to feel where I think it might need an extra 1 or 2. So I'm stitching the majority of this in the DMC Etoile Blanc, which is essentially white, and then I've used the overdyes that was called for the reindeer and sleigh. And this is on a linen that I got from Spotlight off the bolt, but it's just a little bit too loose for my likings, so I'm going to ditch the rest of what I purchased on this. And I did dye this myself but I didn't rinse it after the dye, and I find that it makes my hands blue. So there'll be no washing of this when it's finished, and this will just be framed. So Snowy Christmas by Aury TM. So that's where we are with that one. So I am going to put this away so I don't end up with a huge mess after I finish filming. That chart is on loan by Deb Wilson, so it will be definitely coming back to you at the Vic Stitches retreat, Deb, because it's nearly done. So the next whip that I'm going to show you that I've been working on is a series of charts that is by Crafty Like a Fox. So I've got galahs, koalas, some kookaburras. I'm really hoping she puts out some magpies because I want some more to finish this particular project off, because I am doing them all, rather than doing them as individuals, I'm doing them all sitting on a row in the tree. And I've got quite a big bit of fabric here that I want to fill up. Now we do have, she does have gangs, but we don't have gangs in Tasmania. Not that we have koalas in Tasmania, but who could resist the cuddly koala? So I have finished the galahs, one cockatoo and half a koala. So I'm going to also redo the cockatoos again, but for the black cockatoos that we have down here. And I would just love it if she did some magpies so I could have five. And I'm going to put a third yellow cockatoo because I don't want them all just to be 2, 2 and 2. So I might do like one koala and then do the black cockatoos and then another 3 koalas or something, just to take it to the end of the fabric. So you can find Crafty Like a Fox on Etsy. So I'll just give you one more. And they come beautifully packaged. She had a trunk show at, I think you call it a trunk show. When we at the Mittagong Stitches retreat, she came and did a display and they were just gorgeous. So that is my Crafty Like a Fox project whip. The next one I'm going to show you, which I've been doing a bit of work on since you last saw it, which would be quite a long time ago. I'll have to dig through my videos and pop a photo here of where it was when you last saw it. I haven't seen a great deal of people stitch this one compared to other Caterpillar cross stitch designs. This one Sally sent to me as a gift to when this was a stitch along. And this is where I'm up to with Bloom and Grow. So getting there, I think I've got another 3 pots to do after I finish that far one on this side. And I've still got the tops of this one to do. So it has been a slow going stitch. I don't know why I haven't really got my teeth stuck into it, but now that it's coming along, it is quite pretty. I do like it now, and I wasn't really sure if I was going to put it into a pillow or a frame, but again, wouldn't that make a nice drum with lots of flowers? I do have a soft spot for drums. They just come out so well. So that is Bloom and Grow, and that came in a nice little calico Caterpillar cross stitch bag. And the last project that I'm going to show you today is a new start for me. This was gifted to me, and I'm so sorry, but I can't remember your name because silly me, didn't write it down in regards like keeping it in the packaging that you sent it up from. But a lovely viewer last year, maybe it was the year before now, sent me the whole Farmhouse Christmas set, the whole 12 of them. And I have started them, and I'm going to do them all together, so it's on one bit of fabric. And I'm doing this on a blue linen, because I don't want it to be Christmassy. Even though it's Farmhouse Christmas, a lot of the charts don't necessarily scream Christmas, they scream winter. So I'm doing this as a winter project to display in my home at winter time opposed to Christmas time, because my decor, I do try to stick away from winter themed Christmas, even though I did snowy Christmas, but I love an Aury TM, so I couldn't help myself there. But I don't tend to do Christmas with snow because being in Australia, we have summer Christmases. So really happy with how this is coming along. I did use the overdyes, except for the white, and I must say I'm a little bit disappointed that I splurged on the overdyes because they're not highly variegated. Even the cherry cobbler for the red, I wasn't greatly overdyed. I don't, where are my threads? These are, I'm pretty sure it's the cherry cobbler. Yeah, cherry cobbler. It's not really that, oh, it looks overdyed. It does look variegated there. But it just, they don't seem to come up because I guess I haven't done a lot of red yet, but definitely the green, which is Weeping Willow, is not highly variegated. So there's again 2 of my tags that were cards that I've turned into floss tags for my white and my DMC. And this, I keep this one in this sweet little bag that I found at the charity store. Isn't that cute? It's just a little patchwork envelope zipper styled that I picked up for a few bucks at the charity shop. So Snowy, whoops, sorry, I've got my cord charging my phone while I'm filming, so it keeps getting hit. So this is the last whip that I'm going to show you for this particular video. So that's 5 of my whips, slowly bringing you up to speed with what I've been doing over the last 6 months. So that was 5 of the whips that I've got, but there is one whip that is so close to a finish that I'm not going to show you because it will spoil the finish surprise, and that's my Farms at Hawk Run Hollow. I am so close. I'm modifying the 12th block, and I'm so close to getting that done that if I show you now, it'll spoil it. And once I've actually completed it, I think I might do probably a floss tube extra for Farms of Hawk Run Hollow to go through it because there are so many modifications. And they've probably got stories that I need to tell you about as to why I did the modifications that I've done and so forth. Now I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of the 12th block because it's totally not at all what's charted. So the chart's not even being used anymore. I'm just making things up. So I'm going to try and sneak in without showing you too much. I have put my ponies in. So there is Biscuit the Palomino and the Patchy Pony, Perry there. So I've put them into my last block and I think Biscuit turned out so gorgeous. I just love it how when you do, like making things up and there are quite a few of those made things up in this particular finish. So I am on the lookout for a frame. I'm going to get hubby possibly to make me one out of old fence palings that I've got laying around in the stable that I kept because they were aged and rustic and weathered and had lots of patina and never knew what to do with them. And I've had them for years. So it's probably, hopefully, the perfect finish. And I'm not going to put glass, excuse me, I'm not going to put glass on this one because it is so big. So if you're stitching a hawk run, you know how big these are. So next video, or hopefully, the only thing is, which is really hard, as soon as I finish this, I'm out of the Zoom group for the the Hawk Run Hollows stitching with Pam in the Land of Good Enough because I love participating in that Zoom group. So I'm really dragging my feet finishing farms off because I'm like, oh, but I don't want to be, I still want to be eligible for the group. But in saying that, so I've nearly finished, but there's also something that I want to frog out of here and replace it. So I've still got a little bit more time to spend with Pam and the people on the Zoom group. So hopefully I'll get a few more of those in before I've put the final thread in. So let's get into stash enhancements. I have been so lucky that I won 2 lovely giveaways in the last, well, it must have been in January, February that I won them. So the first one I won was from Instagram, and it was being hosted by Cottage Garden, what are they called? Yeah, Cottage Garden Threads. And I won a little pack that they had put together, and aren't they beautifully variegated? I especially love this goldy yellow one. Whoop. And the Cottage Garden Threads are great because you can these actually turn into floss drops. When you unwind them, you can just pull them out. They're already pre-cut. They're great. And I also won a quilt pattern called, oh, not really sure on the pronunciation of that one. I'm not a quilter, so you might see this one come up in a giveaway later on in the year. So aren't they beautiful? So I was so happy to be able to get a chance to use some of these. I had one in my stash that I'd gotten at the Mittagong retreat that I haven't used yet. So now I've got a little bit of a collection, you could say. Now the other giveaway that I won was from Priscilla and Chelsea's channel, and I've been watching them since before I started Flosstube, which must be nearly into 3 years, so maybe 4 years that I've been watching Priscilla and Chelsea and haven't been lucky enough to win one of their giveaways. But did I get lucky? I won this particular project bag that one of their viewers had made for them to give away, and it is just beautiful, all quilted on there, and just even the little detail with the stitching over the zips at both ends, just beautiful. So I was very happy to be the recipient of one of these gorgeous project bags. So made its way all the way to Tasmania from the United States, so it's been on a bit of a trip. Now, stash enhancements. I've been a little bit busy. So not only was I busy stitching, I've been busy shopping too. I got this particular piece of linen off our Aussie Stash Unload site on Facebook, and it is just beautiful. It is a 40 count. Was it 40 count? Oh no, 32 count, beg your pardon, which is more at my style. But I just love the colours. It's just so not something that I could create myself. So I was very happy to be able to snag that from the Stash Unloading site. Now, for the Aussie Aussie stitches, you probably already know, but Linen and Threads, who is Fox and Rabbit, their store had a sale right before market, so they could get rid of some of their inventory to stock up on market. So I had a little bit of a spending spree because they're local enough to me. They're a long way away from me, but yeah, local postage. So I picked up sweater weather because I love me a teeny weenie. So I've already done the Itsy Bitsy Bikini, Bikini 20. Oh, I can't remember. The yellow polka dot bikini one. I've done that one. And that was my first drum, so more drums on the way. So sweater weather, and I also got Teeny Weenie, their original one. And the other Plum Street samplers. Now this is an oldie but a goodie, and I've had my eye, it's been on my wish list for so long, and it's one of the ones that I just hadn't picked up. So while it was on sale, I got Judge Not, which I think, again, would make a fabulous drum, would it not? Then I also picked up Threadwork Primitive Springtail Feather because I just love that peacock in there. And I also got Hello from Liz Matthews Butterfly Cloche, which I've had on my wish list since last market. So I'm sure this one came out, yes, 2021 or at Expo. Love the butterfly cloche, so that's on my list to do. This one is an oldie. It's a Rosewood Manor green on green. And I just, yeah, really enjoy the Quaker style. And I haven't done a huge amount of samplers, or what I consider samplers. So this will be, well, in my mind, is a sampler because it's got the ABC. So that's a copyright of 2014, that one, green on green. Doesn't have to be green on green, but I've got some lovely silks for you, Hanks, that I need to use up. Now, Catherine from Neat and Knot, close your eyes, turn it off, sorry. I was watching you last night and you were moaning and groaning that you couldn't get hold of this chart, so I'm sorry, but I picked up Consider the Lilies as well. So this is huge. Oh my goodness, I did not realize how huge it is until you get a booklet, and it's huge. So Consider the Lilies is now in my to-do pile, and just beautiful. Not being a religious person, I don't know whether I will do the Adam and Eve. I might sub that out, I don't know yet, but I just love the colors. And these sort of charts make great stitching challenge prompts because they've got so many different things in them. And so this is a release of 2020, and I know that she's got My Eyes on the Sparrow as a companion piece. I think we'll just stick to one, so sorry, Catherine. Whoopsies. Okay. What else have I got for you? I have giveaways. Maria, I haven't sent out your giveaway from my last video yet. I'm so sorry. It's coming, it's coming. I haven't forgotten you. I've been working at home, well, since before Christmas, and I just haven't been out. And when I do go out, it slips my mind. So I'm so sorry. And then I get home, I'm like, oh, I still haven't done that. It will come out to you. So I'm going to pop in the video for of the random comment generator for last month's video. So I'll pop that in here. Okay, so we've got 23 comments for the word koala, and we're going to get YouTube comments. Oops, 23. And we are going to start. RV Stitcher, good to see you're back. I enjoy your videos either way, Koala. Well, congratulations. If you send me an email, which is in the description box below, I'll get this one out to you. So last month's was the Koala Biscornu. So congratulations, RV Stitcher. Send me an email. And what have I got for you for the giveaway this month will be Easter Bilby. And this is by an Australian designer, Fozzie Fox Designs, Rachel. So if you like this too, she does have an Etsy shop, and she's got heaps and heaps of good little charts there. So I am going to be giving away this one, and we'll put the word Easter. So if you would like to be in the chance for me to post this out to you, just pop in the word Easter, and I'm happy to send to anywhere in the world. Please be over 18, don't say giveaway. And it'd be really great if you liked and subscribed to my videos. So I really appreciate all the comments that I get each and every video, and I do try to respond to you all, but I do get a little bit behind, but I do see them all, and once I heart them, you know that I've read them. So I really do appreciate you coming back and watching, and to all my new subscribers over the last since really you might not have seen me in 2021. Welcome. I should have said that at the beginning of the video. So I really do appreciate all the people coming in and checking out my channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And I also urge you to go over to my Instagram and give that a like as well, so you can see what I do in between videos and keep updated. I do like doing little reels and things on Instagram too, so it's a lot of fun. So until I see you next time in April, I hope you all stay safe no matter where you are in the world. Our thoughts and prayers are with everybody that is in the areas that are being affected by what's happening in Ukraine at the moment. So please, everyone, take care and stay safe, and I'll see you in April. Bye.